Hey there, everyone. I am hoping that I'm looking at the right place because this is on my computer. But I wanted to hop on here. First of all, hello. I wanted to hop on here and go over what I at least mean when I say raise your vibration so that you can have a higher frequency. And because I feel this is a way that you can help protect yourself from outside invading energies. So that is what this video is going to be about. I am going to go over, what I mean by this and go over ways outside of meditation because we all hear, right? Meditate, while yes, 100% meditation is good, is important. There are so many other ways and reasons why you need to try other methods. So that is what I'm going to be discussing in this video. Um, I hope you're all doing well. Welcome if this is your first time here. And if this is you're returning here, welcome also. So I decided that I'm sitting here and I wanted to take care of this video because this question was asked. Again, going back to me putting out that question. What is it that you guys would like to see me post here? And that was one of them. How can we raise our vibration? Is it through meditation, right? Yeah, so that is actually a pet peeve of mine when I hear that people just talk about raising your vibration or just, meditation. There's so much more, and if you only focus on meditation, then you could be missing something about your physical body that's important to take action on because that could be the reason why you're vibrating low. So, let's just let's get into this. So when I talk about raising your vibration, right? Your vibration is the these are tones that your body gives off. These are tones that your internal organs give off, your system, your auric field vibrates with a certain frequency. So when it vibrates on a lower frequency, right, it is your auric field isn't as expansive. So it's kind of dim, and this means your frequency is low. And when this happens, right, when we're talking about in the metaphysical world, especially, right, I'm going to talk about when you hear me say this, most of the time, it is when we talk about protection. A lot of things will have a difficult time affecting you, especially those things that are sent to you, if your frequency is vibrating high, which means, again, like I just said, your auric field, your biofield around you is expansive because it is vibrating at a high frequency. And this is when I always mention, take care of that, right? Vibrate on higher frequencies so that this is a method, a layer of protection. Now, among other things, right? When you are vibrating at a certain resonance, you feel different. You manifest differently. So when we talk about this, it also, if someone says, you're vibrating low, it's not all the time that it is like an emotional response, right? Sometimes, right? But as a result of, um, it's not always that you are, angry or, right? When you are vibrating low, a lot of the times it's a nervous system issue. when we, we work, when we're stressed out, when we're going through some things, when we are not at our optimal health physically, this will bring our vibrations lower. Our frequency will be at a lower state. So what happens when our nervous system is overwhelmed? It is not going to be vibrating right at this bright, illuminating, vibrant frequency. It's not going to be at its best. So it's low. It's not going to give off its full potential, which means you aren't going to be at your best, which means it's easy for things to attack you. So addressing it, a lot of times when we work in the magical community, in the occult community, in spiritual spaces, our default setting is when we feel something off is to do, some kind of magic. Maybe, there's somebody attacking me or something. Our default is we don't a lot of times think about the mundane aspect, the physical body aspect of it, right? What is off? Because sometimes it's not always that you are stressed. The feeling stressed could be a result of your nervous system in overload, in breakdown, and we could be the ones that's causing that. I know I've done that to myself many a times by responding to things the way that I do, by doing things the way that I do, and not allowing my body to have the rest that's necessary. So then my nervous system will be like, okay, we're about to make you have rest and we're going to shut you down. So then at that point, I'm vibrating low. So, and then it can also be my nutritional intake, right? So some things that we eat make us vibrate on a lower frequency because our body doesn't want it, right? Our body is like, no, that doesn't work well for me, right? So that can cause it. And a lack of vitamins, a lack of minerals in our body can cause us to have these, like a vibrating at a lower frequency. So knowing all of this, taking this into consideration, right? You have to do a checklist, right? How am I feeling like I'm vibrating? Is my frequency not high? Do I feel like it's I need to vibrate higher? So you want to take into consideration all these things. And there's many ways that you could do that outside of meditation. So I want to read something here. The parasympathetic nervous system is a division of the autonomic nervous system responsible for the body's rest and digest, or feed and breathe, and responses promoting a calm state and conserving energy. It works in balance with the sympathetic nervous system, which controls the fight or flight response to maintain the body's internal balance. So these are things that, if out of balance, can 100% affect your frequency. So is meditation going to fix that? Yes, it can, but these are things that can require other methods to bring your parasympathetic and sympathetic nervous system into balance. So there's this theory. It's called the polyvagal or vagal. I'll put the spelling there. Theory by Stephen Porges. So I'm going to read something here just to give you understanding of how this ties in. In that model, a balanced, healthy state is called ventral vagal state. This is the social engagement state. It is when you are calm but alert, grounded but responsive, open but not overwhelmed. In ventral vagal regulation, you see steady breathing, flexible heart rate, emotional rage without collapse, clear thinking, capacity for connection, appropriate boundaries. So that's a little information. I'm going to leave that in the description of this video so you can dive a bit deeper if you are really looking to work on your frequency. But I want to get into some of the things that I've just I mentioned a few of them outside of meditation to bring your nervous system into balance to help you raise your frequency. Slow, deep breathing with longer exhales. So this is a part of why they say meditation, because in meditation, you usually start with the breathing, but you're not meditating, you're breathing, right? A lot of times if we really pay attention, we're having shallow breaths, and those shallow breaths aren't allowing our brain to get the oxygen that's necessary. So we have to be aware of how we breathe. So taking some time out to do breath work helps to regulate and bring your body into a calm state, relieving it of anxiety. So breathing, cold showers, consistent sleep. So that's a big one, right? And a less constant scrolling on the phone. Quiet time without stimulation. So these are a part of like direct nervous system activations, right? Like, so these are ones you might want to think about if you are trying to think to directly work with your nervous system. So the breathing, cold shower, sleep, right? Consistent sleep, and less constant scrolling on the phone, so that your brain is not on overload, and quiet time with less stimulation, right? So then there's sound is a big one for me. So sound, chanting or humming, right? Chanting the word alone, right? That certain words carry a vibration when you speak it and when you chant it. So there's a vibration. It's like a musical note. So when you chant certain words, they help to regulate. And crystal or Tibetan singing bowls, sitting there playing those bowls, couple of things, right? The tune is vibrating, like your body's vibration begins to connect with the sound, right? So they have done tests where when you hit a tune, a tuning fork, and it affects like another tuning fork in its proximity, sometimes will start vibrating because it's connecting. So you are connecting to the vibration of the singing bowls, but at the same time, it's a meditative state because you are playing the bowls. So then there's the tuning forks, like I just mentioned, and devotional singing. Hey, you don't have to be able to carry a tune, but just, when you sing, you're uplifted. I don't mean singing like the blues. Sometimes people like the blues, but when you tap into songs that bring you joy and you sing, whether it's in the shower, maybe like just if you feel like you need to raise your vibration, when you're in the shower, sing that song while you're in the shower and watch the difference. And so then the moving your body, because sometimes it depends on why you are vibrating low. If it has something to do with your nervous system, especially, the movement in your body shifts that stagnant energy. Because a lot of times when we are vibrating low, it's because there's movement that needs to take place. Right? There's this, right, like feng shui, the way things are moved and situated allows for energy to flow in a certain way. So maybe the energy that needs to flow throughout your body is blocked. So there's movement. So there's the ecstatic dance, and it's usually, sometimes it can be sensual, sometimes it can look chaotic, but this ecstatic dance, meaning you aren't trying to go with the beat. You're just flowing intuitively, allowing your body to move. And then there's the free movement, right? Just the chaotic movement, and just let yourself go. And then strength training, actually, right? Working out. You hear a lot of people say, "I'm going to the gym because they're stressed, so they want to release, right? And work out." And then somatic shaking to discharge stress. So, right, there's this shaking, but it's all about movement. They even have like tapping. I'm not experienced with tapping, so I really won't speak on that. But there are different practices of movement and physical touch that can help you release and be able to remove those blockages that is keeping you in a lower vibration, so that your frequency can't raise. And then, last but certainly not least, your emotional state, right? So I have here on my notes, clean up your emotional life. So, right, you want to journal, right? And I that's another. Journal and meditation are two words that are overused, right, in metaphysical and spiritual communities and witchy communities. But it is what it is, right? In order for you to really understand and take note, you have to write these things down. This is how some of the greatest books, old grimoires, came to be, is from people taking notes and journaling the process. So this is where awareness comes in about what you need to be doing for yourself. So it's just a process of working what helps your emotional life, right? Figuring out, why you may keep feeling this way about something, or you feel like you are, and I don't want to say depressed, because that can also be like a physical, like a nutritional thing, right? Hormonal issues. So there's so much to take into consideration other than, just meditate to raise your vibration and have a higher frequency. There's so much more to that. And this is why a lot of people, when they meditate, they're like, this is not working. The meditation is not working for me. So they feel like they're not doing it right. Something's wrong with them. No, it's because you probably need to do a whole other regimen, a whole other list of methods that is specifically for your situation, right? So thinking of these things, you want to take note, do a checklist. This is what when you have to figure out, which is why, again, you journal, but you have to figure out what it is specifically for you, and not look at this generic method or this generic format or structure of raising your coming into a higher frequency. It is not generic. It is personal to you. So do that checklist, write out all these things, like, am I, and I think I said this before in another video, but it's a checklist. You have to go through it, because sometimes we don't think about things in a moment, especially if we're vibrating in a lower state. Some things may slip our mind. That's one of the side effects of vibrating low. You aren't connected, right? You aren't channeling that information because there's blockages, right? Because your frequency is low. So, do that checklist, right? And ask yourself, like, how's my nutrition? Is my nutrition affecting my hormones? Is it affecting my libido? Is it affecting my testosterone? Do I need to take some magnesium to help me with my sleep? Because my sleep is affecting my state, right? So you have to ask yourself these things before taking these steps and sitting in meditation, right? So do that checklist of things that, and you know what I'll do, because I almost hear somebody asking, what I'll do is I'll put together a checklist for you. This just popped in. So Spirit is like, do a checklist. So I'll do a checklist for everyone. And, it's my personal noses. And this I'm not a doctor. I'm telling you what works for me. However, in the description of this video, like I said, I will put the information about the nervous system and the reasons why, because based on that, you can figure out maybe these are some things I like to add to the checklist. that you want to make sure all is well. So I'll put together just kind of like this basic checklist of things that you might want to, if you feel like you're vibrating low, or sometimes this is why we lose inspiration, because we're vibrating low, so we aren't inspired. So that comes from working on all these things, your nervous system, right? Because at a lower, when your nervous system is vibrating low, inspiration is lost. So I will put that list in the description of this video. Before I go, I want to talk a bit quickly about my new communities that I have created. I created two. I've been very busy. I created two because I want to have community, right? I want to have a space where we can come to ask questions, and it's a bit more a personal space, right? It is the Magic Alchemy Circle, and over there it is, I moved everything from Patreon, and so over there it's all things like on Patreon, all the videos, all the content, but a space that allows you to be able to post, right? Even as a free member, right? We had otherwise on Patreon, we had to go to Discord, but this is an all-in-one platform that has a classroom space, that has, we could do lives all in within that space. So go over and check it out. Also, if you are someone that is into Venusian magic, that is into learning about your Venus, learning about the Venusian mysteries and all the different archetypal energies that is aligned with Venus, and in your devotional practices, and learn all about that and how to, magnetize your magic through these practices, I have another community for you. I wanted these both because there's not a lot of people that's into magic, and witchcraft is into Venusian things. So I wanted to separate the spaces. And that space is dedicated solely to that, magic and all, but all centered around Venusian practices. And that is the Venusian Magic Circle. So both of the links will be in the description, but I am so excited about these platforms because it is allowing for everything to be all in one place. It is allowing for me to do the lives more in a more cohesive way. It's allowing for me to do coffee hours, check-ins, chat with you. And most of all that I really, really love is it's allowing for everyone to participate. Free, paid is allowing you to post, right? Make your post, share your pictures, share your journey, but all within this space. So the Magic Alchemy Circle and the Venusian Magic Circle, both links will be in the description of this video, along with all the other information that I have shared. So until the next video, I love you all, and into the shadows. And yeah, so that is actually, so I want to read the parasympathetic nervous system is a division of the autonomic autonomic